Hi people and hello my Chili con Carnage crew, it's Chili here for a 5-minute review on Wilco's newest album, Cousin. I have no idea why I decided to cover this album. I'm not a huge fan of Wilco after all. Maybe it was for the dozens of views that I may receive on this channel, or maybe it was for the challenge. I do recall the band when they released their album Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and it was a pretty decent effort. I know this album had a big impact on the scene and the band, but since none of my friends were into them at the time, they weren't ever on my radar. Maybe this new album, Cousins, will change all of that. With all this said and done, the first track, Infinite Surprise, is an intriguing one as it goes against the grain of a typical record in that you want to put a powerful song up front and on the first track of the record. Now, of course, not all bands do this, and the first one I can think of is Jimmy Eat World, where they did it on Clarity, much to the chagrin, of course, of the record execs, and that album is legendary. Infinite Surprise is a very slow track, and one that has a looping guitar riff that goes nowhere, and of course the looper pedal has been stuck on, well, an infinite loop. Still, it isn't entirely that bad. Just a bit monotonous. Actually, it reminded me a lot of an Australian band called UMI in their sound. American fans who have never heard of them, go check them out, but they are a little bit more rock orientated than Wilco. The next song is 10 Dead and is a darkly somber tune, but was beautiful in its own dark way. And I thought that this was actually a really good song. If only it carried over to Levy, where the lyrics and keys are doing that looper thing again. Now, if you are screaming down the screen at this moment saying, well, this album just isn't for you because you don't like this music, then you would be half right, but I kind of have to admit that this music is quite nice, even if I'm not exactly a fan of the style. Also, I don't mind it, it's actually kind of growing on me at this point. This kind of quasi indie rock meets, I don't know, country art style is intriguing. I've heard Wilco being described as American folk rock, which makes it a little bit difficult for an Australian to fully immerse themselves in, but I've always wanted to get into this style of music. It would be like me asking an American listener to go and play the Midnight Oil albums and enjoy them on all the levels. You won't be able to unless you understand the Australian geopolitical issues from the 80s, and they are very nuanced in those areas. Regardless, you can still go and listen to the music for what it's worth, and that is the case for me on this Wilco record. I may never be a fully fledged Wilco fan, but if I heard this album played at a random setting, I wouldn't exactly skip the tracks. They are nice, and they make me feel like I'm lounging in one of those recliner chairs with a surplus of cushioning and allow me to drift away, even if for just a few short minutes. Overall, I would give this album a score of 5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being A Bowl and a Pudding, 10 Dead, and Pittsburgh. Look, earlier I made the comparison between the record Clarity for its slow start to the record, and maybe this album will have similarities to Jimmy Eat World as well, because Clarity was an album that was only recognised for its genius after the fact. It took years of being in the public zeitgeist to fully appreciate it for what it's worth, and maybe this record might not be as high as Clarity, but I'm guessing there might be a little bit more as well than what we don't see yet. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.